What's going on, guys? It is Shay here. Welcome back to another video, and today, everybody, we're going to be reviewing something today. As you can see from the title of the video, we're going to be reviewing an amp or an amplifier, and this is an amp. I just been wanting a bass amp for quite a while, and if it looks a little weird while my camera's up, my mom recently gave me her old iPhone, so I'm going to be using its camera to mainly film, like, you know, videos out here. So that way I can just, you know, keep my normal phone. Also, cool stickers in the back. These are technically new stickers I put on the back of my phone, because this one doesn't have much space on it anymore. But we're going to be reviewing a bass amp. This is something I have been wanting for quite a fucking while. And yeah, as you guessed it from the title of the video, I'm going to be reviewing Fender's Rumble 40 bass amp. That's right. This video is sponsored by Fender. No, not at all. This video is not sponsored by Fender. But if it were, then I'd probably be able to buy at least 2 of these amps, because I don't know how sponsorships work. I've never been sponsored before, nor will I ever get sponsored. So yeah, I'm very ready to show off this amp because I've been playing with this thing ever since I got home from work. It got delivered when I was at work, which really sucked. I really wish I could have been here and been playing with it for a lot longer. But yeah, we're going to be testing some things. We're going to be out here testing my guitar through the amp, like through the bass amp, and I'll also talk about, you know, other things with you know, with my bass and what I've been playing through ever since or before I got this amp. So yeah, with that being said, let's begin. So in case you're wondering what I've been playing my guitar through or been playing my bass through up until I got this amp, I've been playing it through my guitar amp, which is not recommended because it can blow the speakers of the amp. However, though, it didn't really seem like it fucked up the speakers that much. I've been playing it through that guitar amp for like, what, 8 months? Going on 8 months, and I haven't really had a problem with it. And, you know, it doesn't have the low end that you need on, like, how a bass amp would have, you know, the low end that you would need for the good bass sound, like that good punchy bass sound. So I instead use a Boss SD1 pedal and tweak with the settings a little bit. I even went through a couple of changes with my amp settings. I think at first my mids were at 6, my treble was at 8, and my bass was at 8. But then I ended up switching over to Lemmy's bass settings, which were bass and treble all the way off and mids all the way up. And it honestly sounded really good, but the problem with that is there's no bass. And I realized I'm not fucking Lemmy, so I can't play with those settings. So I remember sometime after I realized that, I'm just thinking, man, I need a fucking bass amp. And I was actually thinking about getting a Fender Rumble 25, which is, you know, a little bit cheaper than this, but it doesn't have a gain option from what I remember seeing. It doesn't have a gain option, so I never really went for it up until I had the opportunity to get one, literally like either a week or 2 ago, and I got it today. This amp cost me $288, and this is actually my first expensive amp I've ever gotten, and it is actually pretty fucking big. It's roughly the same size as my guitar amp, but I'm so stoked I have this fucking amp with me right now. But yeah, dude, I'm so fucking ready to show this shit off. So ready. So here it is. This is the Fender Rumble 40. So this thing was in a really big box, and funny enough, the box is actually still behind that chair over there. And this thing is really big, but it's also light. It's much lighter than my fucking guitar amp, that's for sure. But this thing is light as hell. But you have all these controls. You have what is this? You have a 4-band EQ, which I think the 25 does not have. And that was one of the things that kind of turned me off from it, because it didn't have, well, actually I think the Rumble 15 didn't have a mids, like a mids setting. But this one has low and high mids. And as you can see here, I don't know if you can see it right now, but I have to show it off in a second. I killed the low mids all the way, like completely off, because it doesn't sound good. I like the high mids more. I kind of wish there was just a setting where I could just adjust just all mids. Because my high mids are like at a 7 or 8, I believe. I think they're at an 8. I'm gonna tweak it like that. My gain is up a little bit, and let's go ahead and show off these settings or not settings, but just show off all the controls. Okay, so let's go and get on my knees right quick. So here we have gain, which, you know, that's one of the main reasons why I really wanted the bass amp, because it gets that growl to it when, like, and you know, I play bass with a pick almost, like, I almost always play bass with a pick. I never really play with my fingers, but just having that growl to it when you turn up this gain a little bit is so good. You have bright, contour, and vintage. This helps with the sound of the bass. I sometimes like to use a bright setting. I don't know, it just sounds good. It just kind of sounds like it gives the thing a massive treble boost when my treble was like at a 4 or 5. You have the overdrive, which I don't think I'll really be using that much. I may end up getting a bass preamp at one point, like a little bass preamp pedal. I may end up getting this or getting it for this, because it may end up really helping the sound. So my bass, you got the bass, low mids, high treble, high mids, treble, and then you got your master volume. My bass is at 6. My low mids are all the way off. My mids are, or my high mids are like an 8. My treble is about a 4 or 5. I'm trying to emulate Fat Mike's bass sound, the basis of No Effects. I'm trying to replicate his bass sound. It just sounds so good to me. And No Effects is one of the bands I am currently really into right now, alongside Blink-182. They're one of the bands I'm really into at the moment. So I've kind of tried using his bass sound, or tried to recreate his bass sound on my guitar amp. And funny enough, the settings on my guitar amp currently that I use for my bass, and will have to continue using, is I think my treble is roughly the same thing. My bass is like rolled off almost, like is rolled off a lot, like maybe at like a 3. And you also got a carry handle here. And my mids are like an 8. But yeah, that's the controls, and let's try and see. Let's go and see what this thing sounds like. So what I'm using right now is because I have a PJ bass, so you know, P pickup, jazz pickup. I rarely use my jazz pickup, so we're going to try to play play some songs through the jazz pickup as well. Because I mainly, as I said, I mainly play through the P pickup instead, and my phone just went off. But yeah, we're gonna play through this right quick and see how it sounds. So far, sounds fucking amazing, even though I already knew this. So as I just said, I don't really play bass with my fingers. I almost always play with a pick. And to be specific, these Dunlop picks, the 1.14, the purple ones, these fucking things are amazing. And I also have picks, and also I have picks from Danny Sapko. his own bass picks, which I don't really use anymore on bass. I sometimes use them on my guitar. I pretty much use them whenever I want to, but those things have some play in them, and those things, dude. But let's play something finger style. Oh my god. Let's do something else.
So I'm halfway into editing this video and coming to some difficulties. So I found out that some of my clips did not load when I was putting them into this editor, and because of the fact that this video was supposed to be edited yesterday, and it took me all night for these videos to render, I am not going to show off the fact that I tested out my guitar pedals with this bass amp. So if anybody was looking forward to that, I am very sorry. You're gonna have to live without it on this video and maybe test them out yourself. And I was also supposed to show off how my guitar sounded through this, but I also didn't do that because it wouldn't be complete without me testing my pedals on the bass amp. But other than that, yeah, so we're just gonna move on to my final thoughts about the bass amp.
Alright, so I think I've done everything I really wanted on this amp. So, bottom line, what do I think about the Fender Rumble 40? If you are looking for an entry-level bass amp, this is it. Now, I know what's going on with Fender and like them being a bullshit company right now, but I saw this amp and I could not fucking pass up on it. I originally wanted an Ampeg Rocket bass amp, which is like as good, but I kind of changed my mind. It was actually cheaper because it was like that one's 30 watts, this one's 40 watts. Yeah, if you are looking for an entry-level bass amp, this fucking thing is the way to go. I would recommend this to anybody. And as I said, I know what's like the whole Fender thing. I know what's going on with them right now. But in the end, like, you know, at the end of the day, it's just a bass amp made by that just so happens to be made by a scummy company. Well, from what's been going on recently. But yeah, as I said, if you want a bass amp, get this fucking thing. It costs $288 to be specific. I got mine off Amazon. I didn't go to a store, which I don't know. I would have rather went to a store, but from the way I bought this, I had to buy it off Amazon. And, you know, it just works. It's just as fucking good as you would find it in like a Guitar Center or another local music shop. And yes, you will be seeing me use this amp in future bass cover videos. Yeah, and as for that EP that I'm currently making, I don't have a name for it yet, but I've actually come up with 3 songs so far. I'd have to record vocals or re-record vocals for the 3rd song because I didn't like the way they turned out. Yeah, I'll talk more about that EP whenever I'm getting close to finishing it, or maybe when I'm done with it, which may not be up until like maybe next week or something like that. My phone keeps going off again. Take a shot how many times my phone's went off in this video, but yeah, that pretty much about does it for this video. I had a lot of fun playing around with this thing. The review may have been a little weird because, you know, I'm not really familiar with like reviewing bass amps and stuff like that. I reviewed an amp before, and that was my current guitar amp that I have. But other than that, that pretty much about does it for this video. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, if you want this, I will leave a link in the description down below. If you want to go buy this, or if you want to just look into it, it's on Amazon. Shit, I don't even think I need to put a link in the description, but I'll do it in case anybody really wants to follow the link. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.